Alright everyone, and welcome back to New Era F1 Esports for the return of Season 11. It's been a long 2-3 weeks without any type of racing action, but it is finally time to get going again, and we are doing it here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. For the Montreal Canadian Grand Prix, we have 18 drivers on the grid for this race, and it's bound to be a very interesting one indeed. Maybe a couple of new special liveries on the grid as well. We're still waiting to see if we have a pink Racing Bulls and a white Red Bull on the field. We'll wait and see what is going on, as I am seeing potential rain in the race, so that could be very interesting at this Canadian Grand Prix. That, let's just say, it's not generous in terms of the grip levels that it offers, so we'll wait and see what the kind of grip levels are the drivers are going to have to contend with tonight. I can announce as well that we have filled that last Alpine seat. However, we are waiting for the person who has filled it to emerge. He'll be joining over the next couple of weeks. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but that seat has been filled up, and Luna does have a teammate for the remainder of the season, approximately in for the Singapore Grand Prix later on this season. So we await his debut with excitement. Emrain 89, decent overall start of the season. Would have been hoping to get out a bit more of the overall package now, going through these very tight and twisty corners around Canada. Other cars that are going to be slightly disappointed is going to be Djokovic, is going to be, I was going to say Tess, but it's definitely not going to be Tess. Is going to be very happy with the beginning of his season. Luna will feel that she could have gotten a bit more out of that package on occasion. I think Recon as well would have been hoping for a slightly stronger start to the season, but it is all to play for. Reboot the season now, then we are good to go. Is anyone on the flying lap? A33 BT in that Racing Bulls is. Kit is out in the other Racing Bulls. No special liveries on the field this time, and we'll see if they come through next week indeed. To do as I can't remember where we're heading for whatever reason. Might it just be Saudi Arabia? I dare not promise too much. We shall wait and see, as A33 BT van is coming up to one of the trickier places of this circuit. Gotta get it properly perfect. Down to track limits, and A33 BT has not, facing the wrong way, just coming out of that little right-left kink. That is the end of his first run. Now it's all about rejoining the track in a safe manner, which is a problem because right now there's a lot of traffic on the field. Hoping he's not going to risk any disqualification here. Yellow flag. So there we go then. Nice little rejoin. A33 BT's back out on circuit. We have an Aston Martin coming up to the scene. Would that be Djokovic? It would be. So then Noah says the fastest time of the session so far, quickly eclipsed by Squidge 2017. And where is Matty, who has recently turned into almost a master qualifier here over these last 2 seasons. He's currently sitting in P17, coming through the ABT corner, and he handles it very nicely indeed. Now then, coming up to the hairpin, very easy to lock a inside wheel here. Matty just manages to hang on. Takes quite a narrow apex. You can usually take that a bit wider if you want to, but Matty keeps it nice and tidy. And then down to the run to the Wall of Champions. And that is beautifully handled, just touching the grass a little bit there. Nice to see our drivers touch grass every now and again. And a 109.3 for Matty, a 109.5 for Tess. Zywaster's come through for a 110.694, and Holman for a 110.744. Decent time throughout the board as Luna's about to come across the line as well. Having to deal with the Wall of Champions, one of the trickier corners on the calendar, especially to get through it very fast. And so 110.6 for Luna, up to P5, ahead of Iwat, behind Noah by a couple of times of seconds. There's a big gap from Noah to Squidge, and the gap to the guys out front continue here in NEF1. We have a very, very distinct top three in this league this season. See if anyone is able to break into the conversation as we come up to the midway mark of the year. Here we are then, following Ray W25 around. Podium sitter last time out in Miami. P2 then. It's a very, very good drive from him indeed. And for a moment it looked like he was going to be able to challenge for the win as well. It's actually outpacing Tess for a little bit towards the last stint. Just wasn't to be, but incredible pace around Miami. Now let's see if he can bring that pace out of McLaren here in Canada as well. A couple of miles north of Miami, obviously, a couple of 100 miles north actually. But then, not the best entry at all into the hairpin. Now let's see if he just decides to salvage this lap as much as he can, just get a decent banker on the table. See, he does. Very, very fast and aggressive into the World Championship. That was one of the most controlled entries I've ever seen into it, and it's a 1:10.532, places him ahead of Luna, but a bit behind Noah still, who has decreased the gap significantly to the top three. 109.824 for Noah is his second lap time of the session. I was pleased to give my English as well. It's been a couple of weeks since I used it, so it's not really up to par. We had a little bit of a mess about earlier on. Didn't really get me up to speed. So we'll see how many mispronunciations and little cock-ups there are over the course of these about an hour and a half. So here we go then, Djokovic in the Aston Martin, coming down through the Wall of Champions, of which he has won 3. Just graced it in Champions fashion. Now let's see, it's a 1:10.2, places him shortly behind Noah, but significantly ahead of Ray. That's a good lap from Djokovic. He's just slowly starting to find his rhythm consistently over the course of this season. Reina now, still not with time on the board. It's not the best hairpin. So then Reina cross line is going to be a 1:10.9, just outside the top 10 for the second Mercedes driver. The first one, Mackes, is just inside of our top 10, as is usually the place for those Mercedes. Just on the cusp of the top 10, both of them on several occasions. It's very nice of Holman, must be said as well, to sport a yellow and blue helmet, especially since what is about to go down today. We are about to witness the Swedish juniors beat the shit out of the Czech juniors in ice hockey in a couple of hours. So it's very nice of the Czech driver to pay tribute to the Swedes with such a lovely helmet design. Thank you very much, I massively appreciate it, and I'm sure so does the other Swedes in the lobby. There we go, I've gotten that pun out of the way. Darren Stahl is paying homage to that team as well, with the helmet that he's always using, to be fair. He is currently sitting P13. His teammate, not yet having set a lap time, has switched up his helmet colors a little bit now, back to that signature blue that he always sports. A one-time race winner around this circuit is Wiggins71. He follows that up with P12 here, currently on the board, 1:10.889. Mr. Wilco then, the only driver yet to set a time. He is behind Wildcat and Recon, currently occupying 16th and 17th. For a Williams team that has kind of reverted back into 2019, unfortunately, this season, having a difficult time to score points. Let's see if they can change that tonight. Recon, that number 3 car, and Wildcat following him. He's about to close out a lap, I believe. He's coming up to the wall of champions. See what kind of pacing bring out of that now Golf livery Williams. Here we go, and across the line, this is a significant improvement. It is 1 second up, and P13 for Wildcat, a 1:10.910. I believe there was movement up in the top 10 as well. Was that Iwatts moving up a place? I think so. 1:10.372 for the Red Bull man. A33 beat. He snuck himself up to P6 as well after having a good week last time out in Miami, scoring a majority of his points this season there. Djokovic then stationary on the outside of the track, just letting a couple of people go. Noah is out there trying to improve his personal best. The Squidge has just improved his personal best. Good enough for provisional P1. It's a 108.968. Noah then not improving through Sector 1. Is it going to be improving through Sector 2 is the question. McLaren there diving out of the way. As Williams, sorry. And Noah is not improving through the second sector. Now then, one final sector to go, and if you've already nailed the Wall of Champions, very, very hard to gain any type of time through there if you've had a good run to begin with. And with 109.824, I suspect there's other places than the Wall of Champions to gain time. Here we go then, through that corner. Noah still committed to the lap, means there's time to maybe be found. Here we go then. The 109.910. Non-improvement for Noah, stays fourth fastest. Here we go, Tess then, getting a lovely little toe off his teammate. Gonna be saying thank you very much for that one. Just on the cusp of the track limits there. And his stat, he's getting a lovely little toe from the car ahead as well, and he goes P2 with that effort. About a tenth of a second off Squidge 2017, and Matty now with a 3/10 deficit to overcome. I must say that is a lovely looking lid from Ray 25 as well. White, blue and the orange, almost a purplish blue there. Looks very, very nice. Hats off to Ray for that helmet. And also hats off to Holman obviously for the helmet as well. Just look, it's looking great now. It's looking absolutely fantastic. Here we go then, Marcus is going around the hairpin in his red and white lid. What's Swag Room Mercedes that does not have Ineos sponsoring anymore on it, has it? No. No more Ineos sponsoring on that Mercedes. So here we go then, Marcus into the Wall of Champions. Does he commit? Commits quite hard. Doesn't take too much of the exit curve though, but he is going to improve up to P9. 1:10.302 ahead of Iwatts, who's just recently up into 6th place, I believe, Iwatts, and how quickly the turntables. A33 BT now up in 8th place, or down in 8th place, should be said. Who's up significantly higher just a moment ago, and Mr. Wilco has just set his first time on the board, 1:11.543, and that is a rough go at it for the previous podium sitter on this Canadian Grand Prix. Around this Canadian qualifying session. So Marina Van just losing control of the car a little bit, heading into the pit lane. Well, let's see what Djokovic's going to be able to do. Nothing on this lap, I think we can basically guarantee you that. As Matty seemingly a little bit discouraged with his effort now after seeing those 2 lap times posed by Squidge and Tess. Tess right now holding a dominant lead over the Drivers' Championship. Squidge in P2, Matty in P3 if I'm not mistaken. Tess, 4 races into the season, is over 100 points scored. That's with a sprint race, mind you, as well. Or would have been a perfect slate. Won 3 out of the last 4 races, and arguably he maybe should have won that first race of the season as well. Got unlucky with the timing of a safety car, which did ruin everything for him. So Tess really has been the closest thing to unbeatable at the start of the season that you really can be. So then, not too much going on at the moment. Noah is out on track, so is Wiggins, so is Kit. Wildcat is coming out, he is P13, ahead of his teammate, ahead of Moreno, ahead of Darren Style, who scored his first points this season last time out in Miami, I believe. So a couple of things starting to emerge. Is that Kit just ahead of him to start finish straight? Yes it is. We're just coming up to the start finish straight. As we have 3 minutes to go, and most people are going to start diving out of pit lane relatively soon. That is this lap time and next lap time invalidated for Kit. Problem for him now is getting out of the way in a place that's not going to benefit Noah at all. Doesn't want to offer up any type of a slipstream to Noah. It's not necessarily a rival, but still you don't want to help anyone out really. Kit decides to go rather rapidly. It's a bad decision. He's not going to have time surely to come into the pit lane and do another outlap. He's not going to have time to do that at all. So this is a weird decision from Kit, not slowing down and preserving those tires. Meanwhile, Noah's getting a slight toe potentially of the Racing Bulls, and let's see where it comes to in the Sector 2 split. Just before the braking zone, he's improving by 0.2 of a second. Puts slight pressure on Matty, not too much. There's a big train coming up behind him. So then, here we go, down the run to the Wall of Champions for the last time, potentially for Noah, probably for the last time for Noah. A very good run, just touching the wall there ever so slightly, but no major contact made. Noah improves just shy of Matty by about 1/10 of a second. He is solidifying his 4th place. Whereas Iwatts, he has invalidated his lap. He'll have one more go at it and he's charged up for it. Wiggins about to come across the line for his final attempt. See where he's going to be able to place that Haas, preferably inside the top 10 for the previous winner around here. His one and only win coming in season 6, I believe, around the Canadian Grand Prix, and he improves, but not by enough to surpass Luna. Wildcat just going very slowly, preserving those ties. And where are the leaders? Squidge is out on a flying lap. Recently started. Let's see if he can solidify that pole position then. Tess and Matty still on their out lap. Squidge through the first sector. Is it going to be an improvement? No, it is not. Yes, it is actually. By 1/10 of a second. Squidge is absolutely flying around this Canadian Grand Prix circuit, which could breed mistakes. But if there's rain for the Grand Prix to come, bet your money on Squidge 2017. One of the best drivers in the rain that NEF1 has, up there with Luna. Squidge then losing a bit of ground in that second sector. Lock up into the hairpin. Is that going to cost him any significant time? We'll wait and see. Not the tidiest of exits either. Now, let's see how much straight line speed that Ferrari has going down into the Wall of Champions. Lone driver for Ferrari this evening, unfortunately. No Jamar here tonight. Into the Wall of Champions then. Absolute commitment from Squidge 2017, who's going to come across the line, solidifying P1. 108.743. Tess is improving. Matty is improving. The question is how much. Beat is retired through this session, through the Wall of Champions. He is outclaimed by the infamous corner. Matt is improving, but he's not improving by enough to challenge. Tess is given a slipstream once again by his teammate here to try and just fetch him towards that P1 slot. Tess comes across the line, and it is shy of P1 by 0.2 of a second. Matty into the Wall of Champions then, you would imagine, is not going to count for too much unless he can have an almighty run down these last couple of meters. And Matty gets close, but not close enough. 109.056, 108.973, but a 108.743 for Squidge 2017. Take a bow. That is your reigning NEF1 champion, showing exactly what he's made of. And it is a pole position round here in Canada that was very well earned. Looking down the rest of the grid, Noah in P4, followed by Ray in P5, Djokovic in 6th, followed by Holman in 7th, BT obviously retiring in P8 through the Wall of Champions right at the end, just being a bit optimistic maybe. Max and Emarina both into the top 10 for Mercedes. Iwatts in P11, followed by Luna, Wigan, Kit, Wildcat, Recon in 16th, Darren in 17th, Mr. Wilco, dreadful qualifying session by his standards. He starts plumb last in 18th. Now, what is there to be done throughout a Grand Prix that might have changeable weather conditions? We shall wait and see. I'm going to report as well from Wilco that he had wheel issues, but it's been resolved Might not be a representative qualifying position then. We shall wait and see what he's able to do for the Grand Prix. It's going to be an intriguing one. We will be back in a few minutes time for full coverage of the Canadian Grand Prix. 35 laps of racing is coming up, so don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back with you. Alright then everyone, the ready up has been triggered. We are set to go in about 30 seconds for the Canadian Grand Prix of New Era F1 Esports Season 5. And we are going to go over the season standings for you very shortly as soon as the formation lap is triggered. We'll also go over the starting ties for everyone and predicted strategies, which might be tricky if we do end up having any type of changeable conditions. I touched briefly previously on what the next race is. It is Saudi Arabia on the 12th of January. So don't miss out on that one. It's going to be a very interesting one indeed, followed by Australia and then Singapore for the second sprint of the NEF1 season. Since the return of the sprint races, in Vegas earlier this year. So here we go, then 18 drivers on the grid. Apparently Mr. Wilco out of position with wheel issues. We'll keep an eye on that. Looking at the Drivers' Championship then, right now it is not a close contest. Tess has run away with it on 102 points versus 74 for Squidge 2017. That is one race in hand already after 4 events. Matty on 67, shortly behind Squidge, but Tess has been the dominant force this season, with Holman and Jama doing everything they can to keep up. Noah's there as well. As for the constructors, is a battle of 2 halves. As you can see, the top 5 and the bottom 5, as for whatever reason, is not switching over. So I don't know why I can't make that work. I'll read you out the standings then for whatever reason. Let's see if I can get them up here. And there we get them. We have Red Bull lead in charge on 122 points over Ferrari on 109. And then we have 87 points for McLaren, 62 points for Aston Martin, followed by 46 for Sauber. Then a big gap down to Racing Bulls on 7, Mercedes on 5, Alpine on 4, Haas on 3, and Williams on 2 points scored. So it really is a battle of 2 halves. Looking at the starting tyres here, it's going to be an interesting one. Squidge starting on hard tyres, most other people starting on mediums. A couple of outliers, Holman, Emreina, and Wigan, that is not completely towards the back. Wildcat, Recon, and Wilco opted to go long on this first stint. We'll wait and see what comes of it. Squidge then is about to line it up on his P1 slot. And we are going to get this race underway very, very shortly. It's been a few weeks since we did this. Let's hope there is no rust involved and we have smooth smooth proceedings all the way up to the checkered flag. 35 laps of racing around Canada is coming right up. So then here we go, we have 3, 4, 5 red lights. And there it is, red lights, and away we go, and Tess gets a very, very good start on the inside there. Squidge tries to cover him off. Tess gonna have to go the long way around, and he does so. Has the inside for the next corner, and Squidge about to lose lead to Grand Prix here. Matty moves past him as well. Starting on the hard tie is not the best decision from Squidge that he has ever made. We have one car stalling on the grid. Is Moreno's not moving a single inch. You would imagine that's some sort of an issue for the Mercedes drivers. Wheels just twitching. Tess Van in the lead of the Grand Prix, followed by Matty, Adam, Squidge, Noah, Ray, Holman, Djokovic, BT, Iwatts, and Luna. No massive losers apart from Moreno, who didn't move off the start-finish line and has now gotten going, but that's a big deficit to overcome. Already half a lap behind. He'll just be hoping for a safety car and get himself into this race. He's out of this session. We'll give him an invite in just a moment. Tess then leads the way from Matty, Squidge, Noah, and Ray. Now, what is the straight line speed of these cars? We know the Tess likes a slightly more grippy car, usually just running a point or two higher wings than his competitors. Just see running down toward the wall of champions. Matty started gaining a little bit of time towards the back of the straight, but Tess, fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, 117 flat. There's not too much movement inside that top 10 on the opening lap, apart from the first couple of corners. Luna's moved up into top 10, so has Iwatts in P9. These two drivers with a little bit of history. See if they engage in battle over the next couple of laps. BT's up to P8 as well. Be praying to be able to have a smooth and silent night. So here we go, we have got to get Rain, our good friend, an invite back. So there we go, that invite's been sent out. We focus on the race ahead. Iwatts then, running a little bit wide, that allows Luna straight to have a look. Maybe down the inside of the hairpin, thinks better of it. Movement further back. Is Wigan having to react to Mack's potentially? But now he's going to be set up for a very, very nice run into the wall of champions. Talking about a nice run, Matty is around the outside of Tess into the wall of champions, and now is going to be trying to run away with this. Tess doesn't get the best launch out of the corner at all, and Matty already 8 tenths ahead. Squidge and Tess now gonna do battle into the first corner, and this is Matty's opportunity to break away. The two make slice-like contact. Matty 1.2 seconds clear in this Grand Prix is everything that he needed. Recon 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. We are going to see plenty of those throughout this evening, let me tell you that. And Tess is now doing everything he can to get himself within striking distance of Matty once again. Try to protect himself a little bit with that DRS from Squidge, who's coming up behind him. What Tess really does not need now is to get engaged in a battle with Squidge over P2 whilst allowing Matty Adam to run away with this. Concerning amount of speed that Tess lost through that battle with Matty into the Wall of Champions. Now though, he'll have DRS to attack with down this back straight as we have a yellow flag that quickly is sorted out. But he's so far behind he can't really do anything with it. Closes down by about 1/10 of a second over the course of the whole straight, just over. Now then, gets a very, very good run through the Wall of Champions, going to be able to continue that momentum forwards into turn 1, and that might have been the advantage that Matty had now gone and neutralizing. Good work, that good damage limitation from Tess, and Recon is out of this session in the Wall of Champions, and we have ourselves a safety car. Recon out of the Wall of Champions then, safety car on lap 4 out of the Grand Prix. Is that a safety car or a virtual safety car? It's a full safety car waiting at the end of turn 3. At the beginning of turn 3, sorry. So then, way too early for anyone to start thinking about a pit stop yet, even if you're on that medium tire. The question is then, is drivers like Squidge and everyone else opting for the hard tires potentially just waiting? This is perfect for Moreno, by the way, everything that he needed and more. I was about to make a good point. Yeah, everyone starting on the hard tires. Are they just potentially waiting for a little bit of rain to come later on during this Grand Prix? I'd love to get a bit of tactical insight. If anyone wouldn't mind just giving me a little bit of it. What is the weather forecast for this Grand Prix? Noah going along nicely in 4th place, being relatively unchallenged from behind over the first couple of laps. Ray's been settling in P5 and Holman in P6. Djokovic down a position, is coming into the pit lane. Is that with broken wing, or is he just trying something different? Maybe he's had a hard tires to the end, but that's way too optimistic. That's a new front wing for the Aston Martin driver. Puts a bit of pressure on Wildcat then, teammate out early on here in the Canadian Grand Prix. No points scored for Wildcat so far. Might have his first points today if he can keep it clear of those track limit penalties that are going to be affecting everyone very, very harshly here over the course of this race. And Mr. Wilco really has had a mega start, up 8 positions from last into P10 now and up into the points after only a couple of laps and on the hard tyres as well. He'll be one to watch out for because he is very, very racy at the moment, evidently. So then, biggest winner of the start, Matty Adam, up 2 positions from his initial starting position. Biggest loser, Squidge, losing the lead straight of the line. You've got to count Reina into that category as well, not getting off the line for whatever reason. You would imagine some type of game issue. So I'm half a lap behind on start, not able to capitalize on anything going around him. But other than that, it was a clean start. Not too much contact, no broken front wings. The only incident obviously coming with Recon in the Wall of Champions, as previously mentioned. But it's very, very hard to specify what caused that incident without having to see it. Then we've got a lagging racing balls all over the place. Is that potentially Kit or is it a BT? It'd be Kit. Just lagging a bit all over the place there for just a brief moment. Hopefully that will sort itself out. So Mr. Wilco then, that is one hell of an impressive start. P18 to P10 within just a couple of laps. Keep in mind a couple of people have made pit stops as well. That's 3 people, Marcus Djokovic and ABT. But it still doesn't take anything away from the start of Mr. Wilco's had. Past Kit, past Darren, past Wildcat, past Emrena, past Recon on track. By the time that he retired. So very, very good start for Mr. Wilco. Just continues to impress. He's done so overall this season, really. Safety cars coming in this lap then. Everyone has bunched back up. Maintain single file formation. Matt is going to be controlling the pace on this restart. So all weaving must cease immediately. Single file formation up to the point where the restart has occurred, to ensure that we have as little problems as possible. Whenever Matty decides to go, and he goes now, goes well ahead of the Wall of Champions. Gonna give Tess a little bit of a toe on him actually into the Wall of Champions. Surprised he went that early. I thought he was going to go and start finish straight. No, Matty's restarted this race. We are good to go. No overtaking until the safety car control line, which is coming up just now. That's the start finish line on every single circuit, if I'm not mistaken. Don't think there are any exceptions. We have a Racing Bulls and a half side by side. That is, I believe, Kit forced himself by Darren Style up to P10. Mr. Wilco up another position into P9. I want to follow along his progress here because this is going to be interesting. Now, Luna and Iwatts ahead. These two have squabbled a little bit over the last couple of races, I'm thinking back, namely Brazil. As Luna with a slight bit of traction issue, is that going to invite Mr. Wilco into the conversation? It very much will. He's now 2 tenths behind. Luna is just a couple of tenths behind Iwatts as well. And that car of Luna, the Alpine, is looking very, very slippery in the corners. Does that mean a slippery car in a straight line as well? We'll wait and see. But it's micro corrections after every single exit. Wilco now on the back of Luna, not going to be able to try anything into the basically non-braking zone that is the Wall of Champions. Feels like you're not really braking, so you're decelerating about 150 to 100k. And then into turn 1 and 2, Matty's almost broken away by a second again here. 8 tenths of a second is the gap. At a point now where Squid's hard tyres should start working a bit better. Now, Mr. Wilco's probably having a little go at Luna, seeing what he's going to be able to do. Had to back out of it on that occasion. Now DRS is enabled as we're coming up to this next straight. Significantly better exit for Mr. Wilco than Luna, but Luna just recovers that a little bit in the second phase of the exit, just coming onto the straight. It's now all about patience for Mr. Wilco as well. In a couple of laps, he'll have a clear air ahead of him. Both him and Pullman, so there's no real need to rush anything if you're Mr. Wilco right now. The only problem is he's losing track of the cars ahead. But now then, Luna's going to be easy pickings for P8. Mr. Wilco straight past. Is Djokovic going to have a go as well? No, he's way too far back to even think about it. Djokovic is recovering well as well, and Luna's coming into pit lane on those medium tyres, having enough of them. After about 6 laps of racing, Darren, 10-second time penalty, speeding in the pits. It's a very, very short stint on the medium tyres for Luna, straight in for hard tyres. And is that going to tell Matty and Tess anything? Wait and see. Both remaining on the medium tyres, so is Noah, Ray and Iwatts. So Holman's placed himself in a very, very good situation here. Should there come rain, and should the medium tyre prove to be a very, very bad race tyre, right now, track conditions look like they're improving. So we have a battle for lead still. Matty, Tess and Squid separated by a second, as they always are. It's the... I would be surprised if this isn't a combo quite soon that stood on the podium together the most amount of time. I'm struggling to think of a combination that might have been on there more. You would imagine Matty and Djokovic would have been involved in that conversation. That was Matty all over the place through the wall of champions, getting a massive time slap around mid-corner, and is that going to allow Tess to have a little look? Allows him to have a look, but nothing more as Iwatts comes into the pit lane at the end of lap 9, beginning of lap 10. Now let's see where he falls down. As in regards to Luna and how effective this undercut is. Is this an undercut or an overcut circuit? I believe it is a very, very heavy undercut circuit. Then keep in mind it sees you right back on the racing line, and Iwatts just manages to hang on to that position with the overcut. Luna almost making the undercut work. Iwatts had to come in. When he did, would have lost that position by quite a margin, you would imagine. Very, very nice in lap from Iwatts. Now then, one lap fresher tyres. Can he use those to pull away? Mr. Wilco now on a different strategy, not really involved in the same conversation right now. He is focused on getting past the other McLaren, that is Ray 25. So right now, Holman making easy pickings of Noah 48. Up to P4 for Holman. If I'm not mistaken, the only driver outside the current top 3 to stand on the podium this season. Sorry, Ray has a podium as well. That's silly by me. It was last week as well, or last race out. A couple of weeks ago. Now it was last year, if you want to be like that. So then, couple of pit stops then. Noah and Ray both opting to switch out their rubber. It's new hard tyres for both of them. Luna's going to be able to do this in regards to an undercut on both. Might be able to pull it off on Ray. Not able to pull it off on Noah. Actually, they're going to come out side by side. Luna with the inside towards the next corner. Has got to play this carefully. Noah just hangs it around the outside, and that was crucial for Noah. If nothing else, to place a car, 2 cars even, in between himself and Ray. Noah should have the natural pace to pull away now, but we'll see. DRS effective around here, as we've seen, especially on that back straight. Which is not able to make anything off those hard tyres as of yet. We're looking at a predicted 2-stop strategy here by how early this first run of pit stops came. As there we go, then Matty dives into the pit on, into the pits on lap 11, start of lap 12. Is that potentially going to try to trigger an undercut on Tess? It's hard tyres going on. As here we go, Luna ahead of Noah then is the worst thing that could have happened for Noah, getting involved in a battle with the Alpine. So let's see, Matty comes out where? Comes out 2.8 seconds behind Marcus, who's on 7-lap old hard tyres, so slightly fresher than the ones of Squidge. Let's see how quickly Matty starts eating into this advantage. How good is a fresh set of hard tyres around here? Just pure pace, but look at things, it's rather handy. So wait and see now. Tess needs to come in at the end of this lap if he wants to maintain a 1 second gap to Matty. Might even be at a risk of losing that anyways if Matty pulls out a good lap here. See, it's no gentle introduction on these tyres from Matty's pushing flat out as Tess does respond, and now is going to be interesting to see. It's going to be hard tyres on, surely, for the Red Bull. That's still in navy blue. We're expecting that to maybe change over the course of the season. We'll wait and see. So here we go then. Tess versus Matty as Matty. Power. Tess is going to take a very, very different line for the first couple of corners, but it's not going to matter one bit. Jesus, that is a undercut and a half from Matty Adam. 3 seconds, and now Squidge has something to consider. Wow, what a lap from Matty Adam, and wow, what a time loss for Tess. That's concerning. For the championship leader, losing that amount of time. It's that amount of time that you're not really able to eat up over the course of a race distance, even if you have 1 lap better tyres. Crucial thing for Tess now is catch Marcus at the right time. So then, it's all Ferrari on the podium. It's the Works Ferrari, followed by the Sauber Ferrari of Mr. Wilco and Holman. Those two have swapped positions over the last couple of laps. So either something's happened to Holman or Mr. Wilco truly has outstanding pace around here. He's 5.4 seconds behind the leader. That is Squidge 2017. The fact who is leading this Grand Prix at the moment on his other strategy. Mr. Wilco's 5 seconds behind him after having started in P18. So Wilco is really running a fantastic race around here. I'm just looking at Holman. No mitigating factors, no front wing damage, no nothing. He is going to do battle with Djokovic very, very soon. Might allow Mr. Wilco to just break away a little bit and start eyeing maybe a potential podium if he can make that work. Tess is starting to close up to the back of Marcus. And it was that thing I just mentioned about catching up at the right time, and Tess has done that masterfully, I believe. Just getting within the DRS range just as he comes across the line. I don't think Max is going to make this too difficult, and I think Tess is going to be passed regardless of DRS or not. And there's nothing Marcus can do to make it difficult. That is beautiful from Tess. He's eaten up a little bit of the advantage that Matty had, and Squidge now into the pit lane on new hard tyres, and by doing that he's locked himself into his strategy. It's either going to start raining or he needs to go on medium tyres at the final stint. Those tyres are not significantly newer than the ones of his rivals in this race. That's Matty and Tess. This is interesting now. This is really interesting. Squidge, by doing the overcut, has not done himself any favours. He's 5 seconds behind Matt. He's 3 seconds behind, 4 seconds behind Tess even. On slightly newer tyres, but those hards didn't go much longer than the mediums if you take care of them. Something that he will very much realise for the final stint, and you reckon then it's going to be about a 10-lap stint potentially. On the second set of hards. Wiggins retired from this session, and do we have a full safety car? Do we have a virtual one? We have a virtual one. I believe Squidge would have loved for that to come out a bit earlier. What has happened to our good friend Wiggin? He's lost control of his car in a very, very awkward place. It's just spun it, and on the outside wall there, as you can see. Let's see if we can get another go at it. I spun it and hit it rear first through the, I'm going to call it the Vettel-Hamilton corner. And this is absolutely beautiful for Holman, must be said. Heartbreaking for Mr. Wilco pit 1 lap ago. But as for Holman, this has brought him straight back into contention potentially. Just bought him a little bit of time. Medium tyres going on. He's going to battle his teammate. I don't think Mr. Wilco is going to be fighting this one too hard. Holman on medium tyres, himself on the hards. So that's good for Holman. Safety car came out when he did. However, this race picture not brilliant right now for Squidge, who's 8 seconds behind the lead, 6 seconds behind Tess, and he's got to start eating into the advantage now. Matty and Tess not in any type of battle as well to slow each other down. I think they'll want to remain, they'll want to keep it that way for a considerable amount of time now. If they can keep Squidge out of this, it's a straight fight between the two. This race has played beautifully into Luna's hands as well, must be said. 7-lap all hard tied. She's in P5 at the moment. Djokovic chasing her down. Time penalties for both Noah and Djokovic worth considering. I'd be surprised if we don't have any more of those dashed out. I don't know, can we actually look at warnings? Yes, we can. And as you can see, we're not going to go through them. There is a lot of exceeded track limits. There is a lot of exceeded track limit warnings. So then, Tess slowly starting to eat into the advantage Matty had. It was 3 seconds, now 1.4 seconds. I very much underestimated Tess at the beginning of this stint, saying that those 3-4 seconds would have been almost impossible to eat into. Tess has absolute pace right now. Meanwhile, Matty Adam, I don't know what he's gearing up for? Is he pushing, try to stick away, or is he just playing this relatively conservative, anticipating the battle and wanting to be equipped for it? So then, we have a bit of movement in the midfield. Ray's making moves on Holman, who's making moves on Mr. Wilco around the outside of the Wall of Champions. Is that going to work? No, it is not, good friend. Ray has to take avoiding action, then Mr. Wilco stays in, and Holman now losing position once again to his teammate previously. He's going to dive one down the inside. Oh, that was a bit unwarranted, Holman. A bit too aggressive, maybe. Ray didn't want to leave him absolutely anything. And he remains in P9. As for Marcus and Kit, they're running along, but quite a significant bit behind these three. So I'm saying these four actually. I was very much involved in this little battle as well. Djokovic's on the back of Luna as well for that top 5 finish. So then DRS will be enabled at the beginning of this straight. Only a couple of more 100 meters to go. Djokovic is going to be straight past Luna even before he even opens the DRS here. The question is now, can he break away almost a full second from Luna just by using DRS? You get the defensive or the re-return of DRS here as well. So there's no real possibility to attack back if you lose the position going into Wall of Champions. It's just an opportunity to break away even further. Here we go then, Tess just sitting outside that 1 second slot of Matty Adam. Squidge is starting to make inroads, but not any significant ones. For a couple of laps into the stint now, he's 4.9 behind. It's turning into a bit of a different race than we usually have in Euro, which I'm quite enjoying. It gives us the opportunity to highlight these midfielders just a little bit more. Mr. Wilco on Iwat, one of the most promising drivers potentially in NEF1 that we had in a long time. Mr. Wilco versus one of the most experienced ones we had in Iwat's previous race winner versus upcoming race winner one day. I'm very, very sure of that. Mr. Wilco on the grass tries to force his way around the outside of Iwat, who gets the defensive DRS in this case. And Mr. Wilco is going to be left slightly a sitting duck to Holman, who flies down his inside. Wilco doesn't make it difficult for him. I said Mr. Wilco. As here we go, Holman on Iwat. Then Holman got a massive launch coming out of the Wall of Champions. That's decisive when the brakes from Holman and straight up into P7. Now he needs to be able to break him away. Mr. Wilco crucially ahead of Iwat, and is this now where the Saubers just interrupt this battle a little bit, and Holman Mr. Wilco allows Holman to break away a little bit and use those medium tyres to maybe try to catch Luna. You can't be getting interrupted in these types of battles for an entire stint, especially on Holman's medium tyres. He's going to be wasting the potential that those tyres still have. I was not really keeping up with him through the second sector though. Once again, movement between the Saubers is Mr. Wilco taking a position over Holman, and this is slowing them down ever so slightly. Iwat's just still within that 1 second gap. Got the DRS on Holman and is now starting to catch in quite significantly on that DRS straight. Now, let's see, Mr. Wilco needs to pull away. Is Holman just going to start parking a little bit and allow Mr. Wilco to start running away with this? Who's caught Luna by 1 second this last lap. Now then, we're starting to see those gaps form. 3 gaps, 1 second in a row. As Matty and Tess now are starting to get very, very close to each other. 9 lap old hards for Matty versus 8 lap old hards for Tess. those are tyres around this circuit that will have seen better days for sure. We're not really seeing the overcast conditions that I was hoping for as well. 21 out of 35 laps in. And track conditions are still looking relatively positive. Wildcat free second time penalty. As for Squidge, I think this is turning into a bit of a frustrating stint for him. He's not really able to do anything on this tyre. He wasn't able to stay out for a long period. I think the cars ahead of him are going to be opting to run the same strategy as him for the second stint. Oh, sorry, the third stint. As Luna hard tyres, you would imagine that's an attempt to go to the end. She should be able to make that. It's about 14 laps. Bit of a longer stint, but definitely doable. Comes out ahead of Mackies crucially, and on the fringes of the points, but 7.9 seconds up to Mackies, but with time penalties, mind you. And that's something Mr. Will could keep in mind as well. Recent time penalties for both Djokovic and Noah. Djokovic has gone past his teammate now and is moving up. Noah on the hard stove, Djokovic on the medium. Keep that in mind. It's Ray now on Iwatts. Iwatts was overtaken a couple of laps ago by both the Saubers, is now going to get maybe even worse in the battle for the Constructors' Championship as well. Red Bull definitely involved in that battle at the League Championship. As for McLaren, I don't quite know if they're involved or not yet. Depends on what kind of a return Ray can have to form. I believe he might just have a little bit of a go at Iwatts here. Rounds the outside into turn one. Takes that position away decisively. But the car looked like it was sliding into the corner. Not going to be too kind in his tyres, that, and Iwatts going to realise that rather rapidly. As we have the other battle between these two teams going on out front, and that is Matty and Tess battling away for significantly more points. 25 instead of 4. Matty still looking for his first win of the season. Tess looking for his 4th. We have a Haas of Darren Style running along in 15th place, a 33 BT Wildcat having a difficult time at it. Right now currently sitting 16th and last. Williams and Haas, two teams struggling early on here this season, and now Squidge has just started to close the gap a little bit from 4.9 to 4.2 to 4.3. But it's got to start coming down quicker than that. If nothing else, if they pit earlier, they're just going to be able to undercut him again. We have some car going slowly. I don't know, that must have been a lap car surely. That was a Racing Bulls car of A33 BT facing the wrong way. I'll explain what that was actually. As Kit faces a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. I'm surprised there haven't been more of them. We'll see when we're coming up towards the last couple of laps if those start running away a little bit. People start being a bit more ballsy on the track limits. So we're 16 remaining into this Grand Prix. Coming up onto lap 25. As here we go, and Matty pulls the trigger for a slightly early pit stop. What is going on in that car? Medium tyres is going on. That is early to go on as on a medium. It's going to have to take them 11 laps. Beat is taking his 15 laps. Wildcat 10. You would imagine what Matty's banking on now is to be able to pull a massive undercut on both Squidge, but especially Tess here on this outlap. The last undercut Matty pulled on Tess was a hard tyre on Tess, currently on mediums. This should be slightly more effective. Matty and Tess lapping about the same pace. Matt will know what kind of pace he needs to extract from these medium tyres in order to massively undercut Tess here. We'll keep an eye on that delta. Currently sitting at 14.8. You'll see how that closes throughout these corners and closes by half a second per corner. Tess hasn't got a choice here. He's got to pit this lap or risk a massive undercut from Matty Adam. Now Tess stays out. Okay, it's rain potentially on the horizon then. That's what that's telling me, because he's allowing Matty the undercut right now in a scary way. Or is he banking on being able to take a set of mediums slightly more aggressively at the end of the Grand Prix? And is he more worried about Squidge than Matty for this championship battle for the moment? Keep in mind, Tess already has that luxurious position of not needing to win every single race. He is quite comfortable out front, 25 points clear on Squidge, even more points cleared on Matty Adam. Right now, Matty's just eating in 2 seconds per lap, 3 seconds per lap even, on Tess' advantage. Matty's got to keep those tyres in check. 10-second time penalty. A33 BT speeding in the pit lane. His stay goes from shit to shitter. Unfortunately for Mr. BT, soft tyres going on. You would imagine that's an attempt at fastest lap. It's an opportunity for everyone to score that extra championship point. Even if you're outside the top 10, it is worth just slapping on a set of softs and giving it a go. Matty within 10 seconds now of Tess, and this is shaping up to be quite interesting. Are we going to have rain towards the end of this Grand Prix? Is it going to be coming in late enough? Squidge obliged to pit again, no matter what goes on. The problem, if he does that, he's going to be coming out about 10 seconds now behind Matty Adam. It'll be a hard deficit to catch up. But they're giving themselves significantly fresher tyres to the end than Matty. Are they potentially thinking softs to the end here? The softs, catastrophic race tyre on this game, all season long at least. Crucial for Matty now, no drops of rain. The moment we see drops of rainfall, it is over for Matty Adam in terms of challenging for this win. But it is evident Tess and Squidge just holding out hope for it, because right now Matty's chasing them down in a way it's going to make catching him back up really difficult, especially if Matty isn't pushing quite flat out as well. If he's just slightly conserving his tyres, might be game over. Wait and see. But we're running out of laps. Lap 28 out of 35. Squidge still having to go into the pit lane one more time. Is Tess maybe just gonna try to one-stop this? Here we go, spots of rain on the horizon, and there we go. That might just be game over for Matty Adam, unless it rains so little he's gonna try to stay out here on these mediums. Now we'll see. Tess and Squidge, if it stays like this, they can't exactly come in for intermediates already. The rain needs to come down significantly heavier for the track to be ready. Iwat's intermediate tyres all ready. We'll see how much time he loses in the first couple of sectors. You can just see those raindrops starting to fall just that bit heavier. I wasn't thinking the track was going to be declared wet this early. Usually when DRS is disabled, it's a good indicator of track conditions. Right now you can see, if you look at Holman and Iwat's delta, Holman massively pulling away from Iwat's, and not by a small amount. Matty's coming in as well, and that's a risk. Not staying out for an extra lap, which might have just been able to see him fight for the lead here. Matty, I reckon that's a mistake, you know, coming in, not staying out a lap. That might be a mistake. As here we go, then Mr. Wilco on 14 lap old Hart is going to be leading this race. The fact that no, he's not actually. Tess and Squidge out comfortably ahead. Matty's got to out-traction him now. Okay, the track is absolutely intermediate tyres, and I don't know anything about strategy. Bye-bye, Mr. Wilco. Okay, so Mr. Wilco's race might be coming undone here, unfortunately, after a brilliant drive from P18. Should have probably come in a lap ago now. He's got 17 seconds to Djokovic. And he might be saved by track limit penalties here, Mr. Wilco. He needs to make it round these next couple of corners. Squidge, 3-second time penalty, and that is good news to Matty Adam. It is even better news to Tess, who's leading this race by 3.7 seconds. Matty should have stayed out, might have been able to battle for the win in track conditions that's not quite to Tess's liking all of the time. Wet conditions, we'll never know. We have 6 laps to go, and we're imagining that this is relatively calm and collected to finish now, unless we're starting to see mistakes creep in. Mr. Wilco needs to be very, very careful entering the pit lane. Better to take an extra second and lose 10. And now Djokovic coming up 14.2 behind. 3-second time penalties at play. How many of those does Djokovic have? He has 1 of them. Here we go then. Intermediate tyres on for Mr. Wilco. How good is he in the rain? Djokovic can be very, very good in these types of conditions. Mr. Wilco's just now coming out. About a lap too late, unfortunately, and that lost him a lot of time. But he makes it out ahead of Luna, crucially, and just behind Djokovic, and within 3 seconds. Matty has passed Squidge for P2 on track now. 4.3 seconds, the gap between Tess and Matty, and Matty is quite comfortable in the rain by the look of things. For Squidge now, it's all about preserving this 3rd place with that 3-second time penalty. It's going to be hard for him to do anything else. For Tess, it's going to be all about just keeping calm for the next couple of laps, not making any types of mistakes. He's got a comfortable advantage now. He needs to make the most of it. If he drops this, it'll be a big, big fumble in his eyes. The championship leader is moving towards his 4th consecutive win, 5th if you count sprint races. And what a season this is shaping up to be for Tess. Only 1 driver so far has ever won more than 1 championship in New Era. It is the man we are currently on board with, none other than Djokovic. No man has done it consecutively yet though. Squidge has the opportunity to do this season, but right now Tess has that in his grip. Matty though is catching Tess by about 7/10 per lap. It's not over until the fat lady sings, the train horn blows, or the checkered flag waves. Wait and see what is going to go on here. As for Mac is currently sitting inside the points. Holman though is going to take those off Noah potentially right now on penalties. That's a bad race for Noah, not able to find himself deeper inside the points in a race like this. He's slightly disappointed with that. As for a 33 BT, he's had a really, really bad race, unfortunately. So here we go then. 2.9 seconds gap between Matty Adam and Tess. And if Matty starts putting Tess under pressure, that's when we might see those cracks beginning to form. Squidge cannot keep up with Matty in these conditions, and Matty have a car that is set up slightly for wet weather driving. He is catching, and he is catching rather rapidly, and at this pace he's gonna be putting Tess under pressure by the end of lap 33 is my calculus. We'll have 2 laps then to try to put Tess under so much pressure that he makes some sort of mistake at around a track where it is very, very easy to make them. As for Mr. Wilco, he's not able to catch up to Djokovic. Djokovic seemingly significantly faster in these types of conditions, moving towards another P4 finish, and now is proving that he is the quality of driver that's going to lead this Aston Martin team potentially for this season. Luna having a very, very good day now in the wet. Needs to get past Wilco very, very quick though in order to get by that 3 seconds. That might be done relatively fast here. See how confident Luna is on the brakes into this next braking zone. Really confident, but the car is all over the place for Luna, but she still makes it work. Every time that we're under wet conditions, she's just able to switch the car on. Matty 1.6 seconds behind now. Luna, is she gonna go for it? Has to wait a little bit longer, but there we go. That's the mistake from Mr. Wilco. Luna, beautiful switchback and into P5, and that is some brilliant wet weather driving Is this potentially going to be a P5 in a season-defining result for Luna? We'll wait and see. Needs to break away from Mr. Wilco by 3 seconds over the next 2 laps. Now then, the gap was 4 seconds, now 1.2 seconds. Matty's putting Tess under all sorts of pressure. Darren's retired from this race. Wall of Champions, too late for a safety car, too late for a virtual safety car. The race goes on. Darren's out in the Wall of Champions. Heartbreak for him to retire this late in. 33 laps of intense racing, ending in a DNF is never going to be fun. 1 second now is the gap. Who got that fastest lap point in the end? Matty Adam. Can he make it 26 out of a 26 possible, or is Tess gonna be able to prevail? 2.5 laps to go. Matty or Tess is the question. How calm is Tess under conditions like this? If Matty goes for it, is Tess gonna defend it, or is he gonna move out of the way? Squidge has no pace to keep up with Matty Adam, but he's running at about the same pace that Tess is. Matty, had he found himself just a little bit earlier ahead when this rain started, he could have dominated this last stint. It wasn't to be, but now it's question. He has 2 laps to get something done here on Tess. In the rain, no DRS, no overtaking aid, pure racing, pure driving, and usually it needs to be a mistake from the driver in front. Matty has to be flawless now for the next 10 kilometers. So here we go, an overtaking opportunity in the wet. Could be into this corner, but it could absolutely be out of it. Matty trying to find a little bit of grip on another line, can't find it there, drifts wide, tried to find grip on the inside. Dry line is beginning to form, which dictates the line that everyone's really got to take. Hard to find grip anywhere else. You can just see that Matty, his tyres grips up in a way that Tess's really don't, and now coming into the hairpin, blue flags shown. BT, free second time penalty for corner cutting. Here we go then, 1.5 lap to go. Tess and Matty down this main straight then. Does Matty have enough to maybe start challenging? Does he empty his battery here? Does he try? Tess does everything he can to break the tone. You need DRS to overtake with these modern Formula cars. It is very, very obvious. Out of the Wall of Champions, Tess a bit wiggly all over the place, but he recovers that nicely. But here we go, Matty has to run on him. Does he have the confidence on the brakes? He looks towards the inside. Oh, and might that have been the moment where a bit more decisiveness was needed. Tess and Matty almost side by side into turn 1. Matty is now pushing the Red Bull around the first sector, and the pressure on Tess is going to be immense. Having lost 4 seconds, that's in the back of your mind in a situation like this as well. I've lost 4 seconds to the car currently behind me. He is chasing me down. Can Matty find the grip in a place where he tried to find grip just a moment ago? He can't quite yet. 2 more overtaking opportunities maybe. Into the hairpin as they make contact. Matty into the back of Tess, and that might be the moment where this race was decided. Tess losing it a little bit on the brakes. Matty braking a bit too late, wasn't able to respond. Now 1 more braking zone to go. Tess has not kept that clean. He's gone a little bit deep, and that has put Matty right on his back. It's fair racing between the two. Looks like a racing incident to corner previously. Matty now has to have the balls to send it round the outside into the Wall of Champions. He needs to be more confident on the brakes than Tess. He forces his way round the outside. The two makes quite heavy contact. Matty rounds the outside, but it's a 3 second time penalty for Matty that is gonna see Tess win this Grand Prix on penalties. I am sure that under the circumstances might be looked at as to how it happened. We'll wait and see. Tess, Matty, P1, P2. We'll assume that Tess is the winner of this Grand Prix by the fact that these penalties don't usually get removed. Matty in P2, followed by Squidge coming home in P3. Djokovic secures a P4, and Luna is able to secure a P5 finish. is able to shake Wilco by a couple of seconds, who finishes P6. Still a heroic drive from Mr. Wilco. Iwat's in P7, followed by Makis, Ray, and Noah picks up the final points, paying position in P10. Holman just outside. A weird race for Holman, back and forth a little bit. Emrain in P12, followed by Kit, Wildcat, and a 33 BT for a tough race for Racing Bull yet again. But it is Tess taking his 4th victory in a row at Canada. Brilliant race. Drama at the end. But Tess has overcome adversity yet again to win the Canadian Grand Prix. And once again, it is a all-British podium, as we can get quite used to this season. I believe we've had it 3 out of 5 occasions now. Don't think we're gonna be seeing the end of this relatively soon. Tess, Matty, and Squidge, you can do this once again, but Tess extends the lead in the Drivers' Championship up to well over a race win's worth of distance. And there you can see fastest lap goes to Matty, win goes to Tess. But a massive drive from both Luna and Mr. Wilco. Good drive from Djokovic as well, starting P6, finishing P4 on the grid there. Points for Iwatts, points for Makis, 4 points going to Mercedes. Crucial in their Constructors' Championship fight with Alpine now. 10 points after this week. It's perfect for Alpine. Ray coming home for a couple of points in the McLaren, and Noah coming home for at least 1 point to sum up a rather tough evening for quite a lot of these drivers. Ray, Noah, Holman, all 3 of them will be disappointed with that result. But then that is going to be it for this rendition of the New Era F1 Esports Championship. We'll be right back with you in Saudi Arabia in a week's time for one of the fastest circuits on the calendar, one of the best races usually as well. It does provide a little bit of carnage every now and again, doesn't it? It does provide controversy. Hello, last season. But it provides very, very entertaining racing nevertheless. We will see you in 7 days' time when NEF1 returns. Until then, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.